Hi, my name is Rosalie Peterson. Today I'll be presenting the 7 types of nonverbal communication as found in Chapter 6. The first type of nonverbal communication is body movement. Body movement involves body orientation, which is the way our feet, body, and hand face away or towards another person. Posture tells a lot about how a person feels. Gestures include illustrators, which are hand and arm movements which need verbal accompaniment, such as giving directions. We need to not only point, but we also need to explain. Another gesture is an emblem, which can stand by itself without verbal explanation, such as a thumbs up or an OK sign. An example of an adapter gesture would be shivering, and a manipulator gesture is usually associated with nervousness, but this isn't always true, often a sign of maybe twirling hair or fidgeting with our fingers. The final part of body movement is face and eye expression, and a good rule of thumb to remember in interpreting facial and eye nonverbal expression is that, quote, genuine facial expression usually lasts no longer than 5 seconds, unquote. This is according to an article, Moving Smiles, the Role of Dynamic Components for the Perception of the Genuineness of Smiles, by Krumberger and Kappas in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior. The second type of nonverbal communication is voice. Besides volume, rate, pitch, and tone, we have pauses, both unintentional and vocalized. Unintentional pauses are the pauses that we have in our speech when we think before we speak, when we're trying to come up with the right thing to say. An example of a vocalized pause involves filler words, and in addressing professional mortgage personnel in December of 2010, behavioral coach Sharon Saylor said that these filler words muddle messages. Quote, the ums, ahs, and you knows are warning signs that you need to breathe. When you run out of oxygen, your brain starts feeding unintelligible words to your mouth. Stop talking and start breathing. The third type of nonverbal communication is touch. Touch is very essential and complex. We'll move on to number 4, which is appearance. Appearance involves both physical attractiveness and clothing. In our society, a high value is placed on the way a person looks. What's interesting to note here is that the longer we know a person, the more attractive they become to us usually, or else we at least overlook the flaws that they may have in their natural appearance. On a same note, people who are clean and well dressed usually garner more respect and get better results than those who don't. These statements aren't always true, however, because maybe the person who is raggedly dressed that we might overlook may turn out, in fact, to be an intelligent multimillionaire. Number 5 is physical space. And there are 2 dimensions to physical space, both distance and territoriality. In distance, the anthropologist Edward T. Hall came up with, in his paper on distance, called The Hidden Dimension, he defines distances as intimate, which is body contact to 18 inches away from the body, personal, which takes up the distance from 18 inches to 4 feet out, social would be 4 feet to 12 feet away from a person's body, and then public distance would be any distance beyond 12 feet. Territoriality is stationary distance and usually defined by what we deem our own physical space. My room, my home, my classroom. Number 6 in nonverbal communication type is physical environment. Physical environment contributes greatly to how we behave and how we communicate. This is why churches inspire reverence and worship, and why gymnasiums encourage activity and loud cheering. The final type of nonverbal communication is time. Time that we invest in our relationships. If we spend a lot of time with a person, usually interpreted means that we value that person. Whereas if we make others wait for us, means that we don't think that their time is as valuable as ours. So body movement, voice, touch, appearance, physical space, physical environment, and time. If we take all of these into consideration and are sensitive to these types of nonverbal communication, they'll help us to recognize and manage our own types of nonverbal behaviors and more accurately interpret nonverbal behaviors in others. Thank you.